Always looking for ways to scan slides as quickly and efficiently as possible without breaking the bank. I know a flatbed scanner is going to do a much better job, but they are very slow, and when you're doing them in quantity, you have to be able to do them quick and cheap. So you guys remember the film scanner that I tore down last week, right? This one, the Optix one that I picked up for like 10 bucks. So I've got another one here. I got another one. This is a newer model. It's promising to be better. They're both 5 megapixel, but this one does not require a computer. So I thought maybe this one might be a little bit easier to work with because, for one, it has a screen on it, although the real strength of this one is I can output video from this to my monitor and see it on a bigger monitor, which might make adjusting the brightness, or the exposure, I should say, a little bit easier. So I'm not going to take this one apart, at least not in this video, but we're going to take a look at the quality. I'll show you some slides. I've picked a few slides from when I was a kid. Some of them are Kodachrome and others were Mortafee Munshaw. I don't know if anybody remembers that brand, but that was a brand that was another brand that was around. And this was typically, well, this was Kodachrome, right? Film. And this was conventional reversal film, non-Kodachrome. If we look at it, you can see the difference. If we look at the reflection off of the lights, throw some more light on here, and we'll look at the emulsion layer on this one, and it looks totally different. So this is the emulsion layer on conventional film because the dyes are part of the film itself, right? And then we look at Kodachrome, and you'll see Kodachrome looks completely different. At least it should. I don't know how it's going to show up on camera, but if we look at the reflection, you see the Kodachrome reflections here. The emulsion layer looks much more dense on Kodachrome than it does on the conventional film, and the difference is the way the film was processed. Kodachrome, the dye was actually added later, because on this film it's more like conventional film, where the dye layers are part of the actual emulsion when it's developed. In Kodachrome, the film was essentially 3 layers of monochrome or black and white film, and the dye layer was added during process. And that's why Kodachrome looks so good. You know, you got Kodachrome pictures, Kodachrome slides that are 50, 60 years old, and they look as good as the day that they were shot, whereas the other brands, well, the colors tend to fade, and we should see a difference in terms of the actual picture quality. So I've got some slides. I'm only going to scan a few. These are, let's say, some of my personal slides that my parents had. I scanned these all at one point on a scanner. But we're going to try them on both of these scanners. I'm going to do the same slide on both. One's going to have to be captured with the computer. The other one's going to be captured straight to an SD card. And I'm going to hook it up with my plasma so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to scan the photos, and then I might even drag out a negative, because this one can do negatives. I don't know if this one can or not. I don't know if this one can do negatives. Oh, it says it can do negative strips. So I'll drag out a negative too, and we'll try scanning a few pictures on this one and scanning a few pictures on this one here, and we'll just see how they look in terms of quality. I'm not going to do any cleaning or anything of the slide, so if there's dust on it, it's going to show up on the picture. I don't care about that. I just want to see how the difference in between the two of them are, and hoping this one will be a little bit better. Even if the quality is the same, I'm just counting on this one being a faster process, because this one, with how it has to be set up on the software on the computer, is quite intensive time-wise to set it up to actually get things to look good. And I'm hoping this one's going to look a little bit better and not take as much time as this one to set up. So let me get the computer set up. We'll get the 2 scanners plugged in, and then I'll scan some slides, and we'll take a look at the end results. I've got a negative strip here. I think it's got pictures of cats on it. What's on here? Can't even see what's on here. Looks like it might be my old cat. I don't know what's on here. Can't tell. It's a negative of something. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, it's a cat. My old Siamese cat. So we'll do this negative as well, and see how it looks. do it on both of these. Looks like this optic has never ever had a negative put through it. The film is still on the negative holder. It's never been opened before. I'll open this up and lay the negative strip in. I'm going to scan the photos first with the optics scanner, and then we'll do the same on the other. So let me set up. Okay, I've got the software set up. This is Photo Impressions. We're going to select, this is a color negative, if I can get my mouse in the right place here. Negative. Okay, so I'm going to hit calibrate. Make sure there's nothing in the scanner to calibrate it. This will set up the scanner itself. Now this is the why this one is so painfully slow, is I click acquire, and that will fire up the software. And then what I have to do is I have to put my negative in, slide it into the scanner. And when I have an image on the screen, I can then adjust the brightness adjustment. For example, you see this stupid thing. I have to just kind of try to make it look normal. Now, I did tell this it was a negative, so we'll see how it looks here. I can't even tell how to set up the brightness on this. The problem with this one is you're working on such a small screen. I'll just leave it in the default there, and we'll take a picture, and then we'll do the next one. Where is it here? That's the first one. Should be the second one here somewhere. There's the second one. And the third one. So I'll just take those 3 photos, and then I'm going to transfer them to the computer. So I'm going to click transfer. And this is where it takes a while. It's going to take a couple minutes. Now you can do up to 12 of them on here, but then you got to sit and wait while it exports each of the images. I'll know when it's done because the preview there, the first one's done. Okay, those 3 are done. If I go and look at them here, they should show up under scanner here. It's processing still, but I should see them if I go into my under scanner. I should see. Oh, it's still doing stuff. It's still working. It hasn't finished scanning yet, or it hasn't finished exporting yet. It's only done 2 of the 3 photos. We're still waiting for number 3, but I can open up number 1, and well, there's the picture of the cat. It doesn't look the right color, does it? It looks wrong, but then hey, this is an old negative that's been sitting around for years, and I'm sure that see when it's got scratches and stuff in it. I'm sure that it probably has. I'm sure it's probably deteriorated. And there goes the third picture. So now if I look at the 3 of them on here, I should see 3 pictures, and as I say, the color has shifted quite substantially because the negatives are old. But that's this little scanner doing negatives. We're going to go back to it now, and I'm going to exit out here, and I'm going to change this back to get slides this time. So this is a slide. Click acquire. That'll set it up for slides, and let me just load some slides up. We'll do the same, and then I'll get the other one. So I load the slides up into the slide tray and pop them in. My first car I ever had, 1962 Valiant. I sold that car for $1 to a neighbor. Should have kept it. It would be worth a fortune today. 225 slant 6 engine. We're going to adjust the brightness on this because I think it's a little bit overexposed. Looks to be a little bit hot, so I'll take the brightness level down by 1. This would be, I think this would definitely be Kodachrome, this one, and we'll take this picture. Move to the next one. And again, I have to do the color brightness adjustment because I can see that it's a little bit hot here. So we'll just turn this down just a bit. Try that one. Third photo. Looks like this one's a little bit on the dark side. This is one of the things I don't like about this unit is that you're looking at a small little window on the computer screen. It doesn't make it easy to make many adjustments. And then you gotta wait so long for the, you gotta wait 4 or 5 seconds for the effect to take place. I'll take that shot. I'm going to load a few more and then we'll move on. One of the things that's kind of a pain with this is you got to put these slides into these silly trays, get them all set up, and then close it. And when you close it, half the time the slides move. As you can see, these slides are well worn. There's a lot of warpage on here, which probably will affect the quality. That's because I sat in a projector too long. If they had never been projected, they would have been pristine. I'd probably get better results. Try to get the exposure correct because it looks to be kind of blown out here on the faces. So that's looking relatively okay. Take that shot. I'm going to do just 8 photos. The last 2 are going to be the Murphy Munshaw. These are Kodachrome, these pictures here. So these last 2 images are the Murphy Munshaw film. Oh, see, this is the problem with using this software is that it's so slow. It's almost as bad as using I had an old HP slide scanner, and it would take like a minute to scan every slide. It was just such a painstakingly slow process. And when you're scanning slides for people and they say, how much do you want per slide? And you tell them. They say, what? What do you mean you want $1 to scan a slide? And you tell someone, well, it takes 5 minutes to do 1 slide to do it right. You know, it's like technology, right? My birthday party when I was like 5, I think. All my goofy friends. Okay, so that's the 8 slides I'm going to scan. We'll export these. We'll transfer these. As I say, this is the time-taking process on this machine. It just takes so bloody long to do anything. If you want to get a quality or half decent picture, they can look good. So as soon as this finishes transferring, we'll set the other station up. Plug it in, put in the memory card, and I'm going to connect it to my plasma. So I'll turn the unit on. It boots up now. When I plug the... Okay, so it turns off there and it turns it on the plasma, which will make setting up the exposure a little bit easier. So these are the trays that come with this one. It also comes with this rapid loader, which you can load your slides in, and it'll push them through one at a time, which might make doing slides a little bit quicker. We'll try that. But here's the negative scanner, or the negative tray, and it's magnetic. Unlike the other one, which had catches on it, this is magnetic. That should make loading the negatives a little bit easier. Don't know which way they go in. But negatives go in like that. Now I have to set this up for negative, so I'll do that through the menu, and the menu actually comes up on the plasma, so I'll show you guys the image off the plasma as I'm doing this. So I go into the capture menu. I can select, that would be black and white negative, color slide, and color negative. I believe that's the way it's set up. Don't worry about the dots and stuff there. That's this interference. That's just from the plasma. We'll clean the light source. I got a cleaning stick here, so we'll clean this off. That's part of the problem, is getting dust in, right? You get dust in these things, and then you get dust in your image. All right, so we'll put the slide, the negative in. Now it's upside down, but that's okay, because this one has a button on it that I can change it. The button is right here. When I press this button, it changes the orientation. I don't remember which way this was, but as you can see, the negative has really badly deteriorated. But we'll take that picture. I should try to find some more negatives that haven't shifted as bad as this one, because that has really shifted really bad. Take that image, and I can adjust the, oh, here we go, that's better. Okay, exposure control. Okay, so let's just try, take our exposure down just a bit. Let's try that first one again here. So hit the exposure control buttons. That would be these buttons here. As you can see, we can really make it look bad. Or we can grossly change our exposure value. That's not too bad there, so we'll take that shot. Move to the next one. Some dust on the negative. You can see a big piece of dust on there. It's okay, I'm not cleaning it. And the third one, again, we need to adjust the exposure. That was the cross-eyed Siamese I had. The only cross-eyed Siamese I ever had was that one. And again, the picture is, the negatives themselves have probably shifted, because this is, at least, I'm trying to think what year this would have been, 1979 or 80. So this is 43, 44 years old, this negative. We'll change the mode again, because I'm going to do a slide next. So if I hit the menu button and I go into capture, I'll change this back to color slide. Of course, the other option is black and white negative. So if I want to scan a color negative in black and white, I can do this too. I can do it in black and white. So if I want to scan that image in black and white, it might look pretty good in black and white. We'll do some black and whites. Okay, I'll hit the menu button again, and we're going to change it to a color slide, and I'll load some slides. Slides I can either load with the speed loader, which I'm going to try, or with the separate slide holder, which will hold 4 slides at once. But I'll load some slides into the speed loader. Put the speed loader in, and that's just a matter of pushing each slide in one at a time until it fills the screen. The first slide, this would be of that rainbow, so we can adjust the exposure to try to get the exposure as good as we can. Move on to the next slide, just move the speed loader over, push the next one in. Again, and adjust the exposure on the fly. Get the exposure looking pretty good. Take the image. Next one over. And this one's upside down, so I can spin it around. And I think the picture went that way. Pretty sure, yeah, that's the way the picture went. Adjust the exposure. Snap the image. Next one. Exposure. I'm looking at the white level on the hood of the car. Probably right there. Next image. Long dead relatives. And my silly friends. I forget, this was a Mortafee Munshaw, or I think this was a Mortafee Munshaw, this one. The color doesn't look as good. I'm pretty sure that was a Mortafee. We'll see if this is the last one. The last 2 slides were Mortafee Munshaw. That was Mortafee Munshaw, as is this one. This is another Mortafee Munshaw slide, and as you can see, the colors have shifted. It's gone all blue. It wouldn't have been like that when the slide was new. Adjust the and take that shot. So that's those slides. Let's go take a look at the actual slides on the computer. This is the first series done on the Optix scanner. As you can see, the images exposure-wise is not great, because you're working with a little window on the computer that's only like 2 inches by 2 inches. It's really tough to set the exposure up as it shows on the images. Some of them look better than others, but they all look pretty blown out. So we're going to look at the same pictures that was done on this newer scanner, and we'll see how they look. Here's the newer unit, the same negatives that I did the first time. Again, 40-year-old negative, there's a fair bit of color shift. In black and white, they look pretty good from a color negative. Not bad for a 40-year-old negative that's been not looked after. It's just been sitting in a drawer. Again, we're going to show the same pictures. I think the exposure was a little easier to control on this one because I had it plugged into a bigger monitor. And I think the quality of the photos actually looks a lot better. than doing it with the first generation, the optics scanner or camera. I call it a scanner, but it's actually just a digital camera. Quality wise, I think this is actually quite good, and for the time that it takes to do it, it's a lot quicker than a scanner, and for most people something like this is going to look just fine for their old slides. I'm going to be using this with my clients. There's the Morty Munchausen film, and one last shot here. That's one of those oh shit kind of moments. Thanks for watching.